Hey guys, how are you all? Welcome to the Polonic podcast. Today we are going to learn about two different types of trends, which is uptrend and downtrend. And these trend lines are going to help us to understand where would be the resistance and where would be the support of a particular equity. So, what I'm going to talk about is an uptrend line and a downtrend line. Basically, an uptrend line is a line which is moving upwards, as simple as that, and the downtrend line is going to be a line which is moving downwards. Uh, but the uptrend line is drawn by connecting the lows of the stock. Basically, it acts as a floor, and this is where your support is. And the downtrend line is basically drawn similar way as drawn by connecting the floors or the tops of the stalks, and this acts as a resistance. Additionally, there's the most important trend line that I personally like, and that's what determines my trades, especially whenever I'm taking the Qs and the S&Ps, is the sideways horizontal line, which is drawn when the price is stuck in the range, bouncing between same highs and low points. So let us study an example of an uptrend um, line. I opened Meta platform on TradingView. As you can see, this is like Meta this year. It's everywhere, squiggly lines, there's gaps everywhere. So, as I told you yesterday, the best thing to do whenever there's um, a chart in front of you, I would rather go for W because that makes the trend line drawing much more easy, and it gives you a more comprehensive picture of what's happening. Now, let us try with the first example of what I used. Again, let's try a parallel channel. Let's see if we could draw a good parallel channel and we get a good answer. Now, how do we do that? If you see the first video, we have drawn parallel channel by connecting all the points across the board and then try to drag it with the left. Now, what I don't like here is like I'm missing out on several highs here, which is still okay. Again, you're getting the same information. The 50% line is acting as a resistance. But overall, I do not like this trend line tool or trend line drawing approach. I would rather go for more simpler because that gives that tries to gives us more coverage, and importantly, since we are talking about uptrend line, that let us focus on drawing an uptrend line here. Now, I want to remove this drawing. Again, I go to my trend line tools. Here you have ray. Okay, click on ray. Again, just try to drag it more so that we are able to see the bottom and the tops more efficiently. And as I told you previously, trend line is something that you have to draw by connecting more number of points. Here we connected one, we connect two, we connected three, and we connect four here. This is great. Look, this is an exciting chart. As you can see, I try to connect a trend line from here. You can do some adjustment, or if you want to move this here, it's okay. That way we are not impeding. The trend line is not being impeded by the candles. So what happened is the chart started moving like this, bounced once, okay? Then chart continued to move like this, up, 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 bounced again. Okay, then chart moved again, and then third time when it bounced, the support is now breached. So keep in mind, as many if there are multiple bounces over an upward trend line, uh, those bounces create or weakens this trend line. Eventually the stock is going to break. Okay, break or basically breach this support. Okay, again, support, multiple bounces weakens the trend line. and the stock eventually breaks down. And that's exactly what has happened here, as you can see. Now, this is a multi, it was in 2023, we are in 2026. This is a multi-year trend line, which means it gives us a very strong story of Meta, how it's going to be behaving in the future. Now, is it possible to draw another trend line connecting the tops? Yes, that is possible. But we have to be sure to connect multiple data points, and it should not be like it's this right here is not a tight trend line. Okay, so for now, what we are happy about is like we drew a trend line which is upward trending and which is was acting as support. And then at one point, after several bounces, Meta collapsed. More often than not, this collapse or the breach or the breaking of support happens after 3 to 4 bounces. Okay, once it bounced, the stock eventually collapsed, and then look, it went back and tested the same uh, resistance this time. Previously it was support. That same trend line has now become resistant, and Meta went back here. Okay, now what will happen eventually in future, so this Meta will have a new uh, resistance. Let's see, we can so the resistance could be this level right here. And what will happen is Meta will keep going up, down, and one day will breach this wall. Okay, now this is what your uptrend looks like. Now let us look at a downtrend pattern. Here is an example of Tesla, and this is your daily chart. And since we spoke about downtrend, what the thing to remember is the downtrend is going to be the resistance for stock. It will not move higher, and as you can see, potentially right away that there is some downtrend. And if we do a weekly chart, again, we try to connect multiple lines for the comfort of showing how the daily movement is and rather showing you multiple data points. We can use this as an example of a downtrend line, a trend line. So I took the ray tool, and what I did, I connect this trend line, which is going down. You see that never across uh, January, from January 23rd. You can extend this line if you want, if you more. From December 29th onwards, the trend line of Tesla has never been breached once more efficiently. Okay, if I do this adjustment a little bit, one more, one more time, yeah. So there was a little breach, but it has not been confirmed. It came back several times over. So what is the thing that I'm trying to say in trend lines is that um, if you are able to draw up and downward trend line, it's going to tell you where is the support and resistance. As simple as that. You can do this to any possible stock in the market, and you will easily see a pattern. I don't care what stock it would be, but let's look at, say, Avgo. Um, oh, look, it's already drawn there. So here's a trend line that's going down. It's a downward trend. There has been instances when several times over the stock tried to breach that trend line, but it could not. Okay, so this tells you where is going to be the resistance, and how far a stock is going to travel if you were to draw proper trend line. Okay, all right. uh the I'll I'll talk about the horizontal trend line because that's an important video all by itself the next time. See you. Bye.